Hi guys, it's Dakota. I'm kind of snickering because it was really sunny and bright when I came out to the witch cottage today. I did not do a video yesterday because it was really gloomy, stormy out yesterday, and I started to do a video upstairs in my devotion room, but I didn't like the energy that, doing what I was doing. So I stopped. I said, well, I'm off today, so let me do it today. And I was like, oh, thank you. It's a nice day out. Yay. Well, welcome to Eastern North Carolina, where every 15 minutes the weather changes. And right now, it's on this side. You can see in my glasses. On this side, it's very, very bright, which this is southwest area. It's very bright. But on this side, see my glasses, gloomy? On this side, of course, that's the woods right there. I'm right up in the woods. But I can see through the tree, some of the trees out there, and it's gloomy. And not only that, a few minutes ago when I was trying to set up, my power flickered off and on, everything, not just the light, but I mean everything. So, and I thought I heard just a little roar of thunder. So anyway, here I am in the witch cottage today, and I might be getting a rainstorm while I'm doing this, which is really pretty awesome because the witch cottage has a tin roof. There's nothing more feels, there's nothing more that feels good, that's more relaxing and meditative and just feels good, is to have rain on a tin roof. Yeah, I love it. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Okay. Hi everyone. On a little tangent there, as always. So today I have two things. One, I'm going to show you, and I'm going to talk about that first. And then the other, I'm going to wait and tell you about it, and then I'll go into that. But the reason I wanted to show you this today, or show you this right now first, Wednesday night, last Wednesday was the full moon, July full moon, and it was a super moon. It was a buck moon, and it was a super moon. And Wednesday nights happens to be my Witchcraft 101 class that I teach at my store. So guess what? We had full moon ritual, and one of the students actually hosted the ritual. And I will say this, that it was extremely powerful. We are halfway through our class. It's a year and a day class based on a year and a day. And we're halfway through our class now. And amazing energy that she brought forth. And it was awesome. It was really good. So we did a couple of activities, which I'm not going to go into, except for one, which we didn't do, but she gifted us something, and I'm going to use it and show you what I'm doing with it. But yeah, so it was really, really nice. And I just wanted to say something real quick on that, on teaching classes and doing rituals, and as a whatever teacher, mentor, I prefer mentor. um, I don't, and this is just me, this may not be how anybody else works, just talking about me. I tend to, when I'm in that circle, when I'm focused on what it is that we're doing and I'm hosting it, I focus on that. So I'm focused on my students. I'm making sure that everybody is okay, that if somebody has parts, that, you know, everybody's doing what they need to be doing. And I'm focusing on what I'm doing, making sure that, I'm doing the things that we're supposed to be doing or that I wanted to do. And so I just want to kind of make sure that everything is all a-okay. So what happens is I don't always, in fact, rarely, do I ever really get an opportunity to interact with the energies that we are producing in the ritual. So whether it's we're doing a full moon ritual and we're using the moon energies, maybe we're doing something that's regarding the ancestors. It could be any kind of thing. Maybe it's a Sabbath ritual, and we're just trying to connect with that season. When I'm doing it, it is very, very hard for me to, on a to recognize if I'm getting anything. So maybe on a subconscious level, maybe I am. Maybe I am receiving messages or I am receiving energy and stuff. But, you know, at the same time, it's kind of like, you know, I don't know, like a band leader, you know, where the band leader is just worried about making sure that the drums go now and the violin goes and everybody, you know. And then at the end, he can take his bow if the audience applauds and go, yes, that's great, you know. So when a student or when someone else, like someone else from my group, conducts ritual, when they are hosting the ritual, it's a whole different thing for me. Now it's still a little bit different when it's a student, because I'm still focused on that student. I'm still making sure that the student is okay. The students get nervous and sometimes they get flustered, and so I just, you know, I'm still kind of there. And so there are times that I think, you know, I'm just not receiving that work that we just did, and it's frustrating for me and all of that. But Wednesday night, it was a super ritual on that super moon, and I think and I did feel it. I felt what was going on. It was very powerful. After ritual, we sort of sit around, we open circle, and then we sit around and we like to just talk about the ritual. We ask questions. If we have questions, we talk about, if we want to, we open up about what we felt, or, you know, just things like that. Ask about anything. We just, you know, it's bonding, it's communicating, it's bonding, it's building sort of that trust with each other, and creating this really special bond. And so during that time, this last week, during the full moon, during that time we were talking, and all of a sudden I started actually literally feeling what it was. You know, I started feeling the energy. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about this in the next little part 2 of this video, because that's kind of what I want to talk about, some different things. But I started not only feeling things, but I started seeing things and having visions, not psychic visions or anything like that, but visions of, and I told my student, I'm using this at another time just to let you know I am using this, and because it was really powerful. However, I'm going to be doing my own thing, which is part 2 of this video we're going to talk about. Okay, so in the meantime, I thought that I would share this part. I'm not going to go over the activities or anything like that we did. We keep that private. But she gifted us some things, which was totally awesome and so appropriate for the moon and the full moon. And so, and she just kind of said, you know, so for whatever you want to do, blah, blah, blah. But I already, like, it was like instantly I knew. It was as if the gods just said this, you know, do this, and okay, and I'm not going to argue with the gods. So that's what I wanted to show you, because I haven't done it yet. I'm doing it right now because I had to prepare. All right, so she gave us these bottles, okay? They're, you know, just close, this pops open, and it's just, you know, an open bottle. And she said she thought that, you know, maybe we could use this, put our water in it, put it outside, and have some moon water, charge it by the moon. And I don't do a lot of charged moon water so much anymore, which again, part 2. But I do special moons. So I felt, you know what, it was a full moon and a super moon. And I thought, yeah, you know, I am going to make some water. And I do use my moon water. In fact, I'm going to be using it today. I keep it in this little bottle, which was, have you ever had that? Kombucha? It was icky. But I loved the bottle. Is that bad of me? I loved the bottle, and so I thought, well, I felt like this was this kombucha. I don't know how you say it. I think that's supposed to be good for you or something. So I was like, okay, well, I want the bottle. I just love the bottle, and I just have never taken the tag off yet. But this has Dark Moon water from there was a real special thing that I did, and so that's Dark Moon water. So I'm going to use that. I don't like to keep waters too long unless that's what I'm going to show you. All right, so I did go out and I took some, sorry, this is kind of frosty because I had it in the refrigerator, spring water, and, or this is purified water. Anyway, it's purified water. It's Dasani. I don't know if I'm supposed to show stuff like that. So sorry, YouTube. I'm not promoting it or unpromoting it. I'm just showing you because I want a purified water. So I put this whole bottle out for that super moon. And then I already had the moon water. But there's not much left in here. So I decided that I was going to use that today to show you. So what I'm doing is I'm making a protection it's a healing water. If you watched my video a while, I don't know, a few videos back, it was a figure candle, and I did a healing of like that spiritual soul kind of thing. And so in addition, I'm doing a water also, a purified water for it as well. So I'm just going to, this is sage incense. And I'm putting it in here, and I'm just going to, I don't do a whole lot of, no reason. It's never been used. So I just filled it with a little bit of the sage smoke. And that is, it's called Amerindian incense. Amerindian. Anyway, it's sage. This is really, really good. I sell it at the store. And I don't like sage. I think you already know all of that. So I just used a tiny little bit of sage. That's all I need. I'm not doing a whole room or anything. Just putting some sage in there. It doesn't hurt. Okay. Then, since it is protection, I went out to my garden and should have been a little more prepared. Okay, so I went out to the flower garden, and I picked a sprig of rosemary, which is really good for protection. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the rosemary in the jar. 3. Okay, rosemary in the jar. Now, I have started growing echinacea, which is really good for healing. And this one is kind of on the outs. I need to trim back the flowers, but here is my biggest issue. This was the only flower, the only echinacea flower that didn't have bees on it. And so I didn't want to take one of the flowers that the bees were still enjoying. So this was the only one that didn't have any. So you know what? Whatever. I am going to put that in, if I can, in my jar as well. This was just a last minute thing that I did. I am adding a quartz, this is quartz chip, and also obsidian, black obsidian, which is good for protection. And the quartz crystal is good for, it's called a master stone, so you can use it for anything. So I'm putting those in the bottle as well. Okay, so they're in there. Just extra. All right. I'm going to take my dark moon. The reason I did this, well, first I wanted some of this water from that full moon. In fact, let's do that first. Yeah. What is she doing? All right. So I've got my funnel, and I'm going to put some of this water in. Please don't fall out, funnel. I just filled it about, I don't know, a little over a quarter away. I'm going to take my dark moon, because this came from a very special ritual that I did. The reason I want to use it, one, is because it's special water, but two is if you leave water too long and you don't have something in it that helps preserve it, it can get bacteria in it, even if you use distilled water. That's what I have found. It's just what I have found. Because once you open it, air gets to it. That's why. Okay, so this is my dark moon. So I don't want it to go to waste, I guess. So I watered some of my plants today with it. And I'm going to put, let's see if you can see it. I can put some of it in there. Okay. And then Florida water. Just putting a dab, because Florida water, I use it all the time for everything. Just a little bit. And I'm going to show you. See how it made that little cloud? You see it? All right, now, best for last. This will, because it does have alcohol in it, this will help preserve your water. But guess what? So will vodka. This is a friend of mine, one of my sisters of the moon, part of my tribe, gave me for Samhain 1 year a little goodie basket, and it had these cute little skull bottles that had vodka in it. Vodka's gone. But anyway, I kept the jars or the bottles, because obviously they're cute. And I got my own vodka. Yep. So this is vodka. Cheers. I'm going to add vodka, which is a great purifier. We add it to our tinctures, tonics, you name it. Vodka is a great purifier, and that was a shot. It was a shot of vodka. Okay, so that's gone. I don't keep the vodka in these except for when I'm doing like a little video. All right, so I'm going to cork it up. Maybe. All right. That's what it looks like. But you can see where that floral water layers on top. And when I mix it, the whole thing kind of gets cloudy. There's my stones, the rosemary, and the echinacea. So now I will keep that for a while. I plan on using it anyway fairly soon. So, but it's good for a while as far as getting bacteria in it. But it won't. I don't think it'll have time to do that anyway, because I'm going to be using it. So, all right. I wanted to talk really quickly. I saw this on, oh, and she also gave us this little journal. Isn't that nice? Yeah, I've been using it. Thank you. So, okay. So I wanted to talk a little bit. I've talked about this, I don't know, months ago. Um, you know, how has my witchcraft changed? And when I was talking about the ritual, and when we were done, and even though I mean, I just would not have changed anything that she did, because that was her ritual, and the way she conducted it, her words, her energy, all of that was extremely powerful, and I loved it. But like I said, when, and this is something that my point that I try to get across to my students and even my customers. So I was raised, let me put it to you this way. Scott Cunningham, and some people I know, like modern witches and stuff, you know, Scott Cunningham's work is older. Well, yeah, he's deceased now. But then he was the only, it was like, you know, it was between Scott Cunningham, Raymond Buckland, Silver Ravenwolf. I mean, there was only a few, just, you know, just a handful of books that you could get your hands on. And without having any, like, I didn't really have the root. I didn't have a foundation, that root foundation. I did not have a mentor. I didn't have that elder teacher. I didn't have any formal training. So, you know, I was just kind of dabbling and reading the books. And here's the thing, if Scott said this, then that was the law. That's what I thought. I mean, so for me now, that way of thinking was in the box. If Scott said, or Silver said, or Raymond Buckland said, or whoever said that, I'm just going to use an example because we were talking about this the other day, and that's what stirred my mind. We were talking about prosperity and what herbs should you use for prosperity. Well, one of the herbs, like if you look up patchouli, okay, that's one of the herbs that you can use for prosperity. Let's just say, I don't have Scott's book right in front of me, but let's just say that in his book, you look at prosperity and it says patchouli. Well, then that's the law, right? That's word. That's it. That's what you do. You got to go out and get your patchouli. But then if you look up another book, and trust me, I've got like 10 different herb books. You know, that's great. However, get out of that mindset. Those were Scott's ideas. Those were his words. So my question, and I use patchouli sometimes for prosperity work, but I also use other herbs. I use goldenrod. What? Yes, goldenrod. Golden. We use pyrite for prosperity, but we also use green aventurine. We use citrine. I mean, you know, it's corresponding things. Goldenrod, pennyroyal. You know, so there's a lot of different things. Now, it may not say that in the book. It may not have those herbs or those stones listed in the book. But here's where I get out of the box, and this is where people just kind of look at me and scratch their head. And I don't know if I'm just completely, you know, 100% wrong on this, but I guess you have to go with your heart and what you feel and your intuition. My thing is this. I'm going to use Scott as an example, and, you know, hail the ancestor. No offense. If Scott said that prosperity is the herb for prosperity, patchouli. If patchouli is the herb for prosperity, Scott Cunningham is an author. So how does he know that? Oh, well, he resourced it. The resources are in the back of the book. I highly suggest, if you have any books that you like and you really like the author, check the resources. Where are they getting their information? Great, he got it from some herbologist 100 years ago. Well, that's fantastic. Where did that herbologist come? Who made that a law? That's what I'm trying to say. Who made that so? Well, it's in the book. Okay, well, it's in my mind to do something different. So that's one of the things that I am very different about in my practice now. I am, and I don't know if that's just something that has happened over the time, over time, or if I'm just really off the mark. But my thing is, and my point is, when I feel it and when I ask myself, well, I looked up goldenrod and it doesn't say anything about prosperity, and I looked in 2 different books. So obviously it's not for prosperity. Well, who's to say that? Who says that? And if we go back through the resources and then we go back through their resources, it's just, it drives me crazy. It drives me crazy. Those are all fantastic ideas. They're all great ideas. I use patchouli for prosperity, but do you know that patchouli is used in bug spray? So those are some very wealthy bugs, especially the mosquitoes around eastern North Carolina, because I've got about 10 of them on my legs from just walking out the other day without anything on. They're prosperous blood-wise. They bloodletted my legs. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying that it's super, super important to get out of the box and do what you feel. If you go, oh man, it says that it's patchouli, I don't have any. Okay, what do you have that you can use? What do you have that you can use? It's just like my water. I want a healing protection water. It's a thing. And I use rosemary, which is for protection. Well, guess what? Rosemary also, we put it in our bonfire when we have ritual outdoors because it keeps the mosquitoes away. It protects us from the mosquitoes. Okay, I'll buy that. And it smells delicious. Echinacea. It's healing. That's why I'm using it. Well, who said it's healing? Well, the book says. Okay, we'll use it. It's fine. Does it work? Yes, it does work. Okay, well, then it is. Okay, then it is. Florida water. It's a cologne. Florida water is a cologne. It's a cologne. Why do we use it to purify space? Why do we use it for protection? I use it all the time. It is a great source of spiritual energy for me. Maybe because the ancestors wore it way back when, way back in the day. I think this was made, I don't even know when, like 1800s or something. Maybe not, I don't know. But anyway, maybe the ancestors wore it, and so there you go. Vodka. Okay, well, because it's alcohol, it purifies. Well, that's a scientific thing that it does that. Well, why don't I just put rubbing alcohol? Because it's a different kind of alcohol. I have used it before. I'm just saying. You need to get out of the box. You need to think wide. If you're not feeling it, don't do it. If I read a spell out of one of the spell books that I have, that I sell at the store, or that's in Scott's book or Raymond's book or whoever's books, even our modern witches that are writing books now. I sell a lot of books in my store. We have hundreds of books in my store. The modern authors, their spells are in there. I always want to call them up and go, so did you do that spell? Did it work? When did you do it? How long ago? Did it just sound like a good spell to you because everything corresponded? You're an author, so you just wrote it out because it sounds really good, and you know that those herbs would correspond with that particular spell, but you didn't do it. And if you did do it, did it work? Because some books, you know, there's thousands of spells out there. And did they work? You know, and if they didn't work, did you still put it in your book? Because if it didn't work for you, doesn't mean it's not going to work for me, right? So, yeah. So, anyway, I just kind of wanted to throw that out there because that is one of the ways that that my witchcraft has changed over the years. And some spell work that I do, magic that I do, ritual that I write, whatever it is, sometimes a lot goes into it, a lot of prep goes into it, a lot of thought goes into it, a lot of this, a lot of that goes into it. And after all of that, sometimes it doesn't work. Is that because, oh, I was too far out of the box? Or is it because the timing, it wasn't meant to be, what I was trying to work on wasn't meant to be, or the universe said not now, or I've got something better planned for you. You know, the point is it didn't work. We don't know why, but it didn't work. Okay, great. It didn't work. I accept that. And if I still need to do the spell work, then perhaps I will work on it and do something different. And maybe I'll be washing dishes one night and I'll go, oh, I'm going to try this. And it just, boom. There's no preparation. You just sit down and you just start doing this, 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 this. And guess what? Within days, within a week, boom, it happened. Did it happen because of that? Or did it happen because the first time it didn't happen when you wanted it to, but now it is? So there we go. The timing wasn't right. Or, you know, there's so many aspects of our work. But the main thing is making it your work. Like I said, many aspects of our work. Let it become your work. Don't be afraid to get out of the box. I don't have patchouli. I'm doing prosperity, but I have pennyroyal. I've got goldenrod. I don't have any herbs. I got citrine. I have pyrite. I mean, all I have is a quartz crystal. Okay, it's a master stone. That's what they call it, a master stone. Why? I don't know. Because that's what they call it. So, and I know that it works, and I know that sometimes it doesn't work. That's what I know. So this is about studying and resourcing and trusting yourself and trusting yourself and trusting yourself and your gods or your spirit guides or the universe. If you don't work with any of that, you trust yourself and give it a try. Give it a try. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't, but it doesn't hurt. And if it didn't work and you're like, oh, it didn't work because I got out of the box. That Dakota told me to get out of the box and it didn't work. Okay, well then go to the book and do that spell exactly as they say. Hopefully it will work. But maybe it won't. It's a crazy path, isn't it? I love it. Guys, have a great week. I know it's blistering hot out there all over. I know the United States is blistering. I have two friends in Arizona, and they both said that Arizona is melting. So you know, poor things. And over in Europe, there's fires here. It's terrible. It's just terrible. So please be safe. And gosh, you know, like be happy. Just enjoy life. So short, so short. Another video. Love you guys. Bye.